Okay, it's 2:05. So let's start with the introductory lecture of DD2360. So this is the second cycle code for the course. If you are taking as a third cycle, so at PhD level, the course should be DD2360, and the name of the course is Applied GPU Programming. And today I'm going to give an introductory lecture about the logistics organization and the different activities that we're going to have during this course. So before starting, I just would like to introduce myself. My name is Stefano Marchidis, and I'm associate professor in high performance computing. At the KTH, I deal with most of the courses that are related to high performance computing. So high performance computing is parallel computing, programming supercomputer. So you might be wondering why I'm also teaching GPU programming. Well, it turns out that GPUs and accelerator in general are also featuring supercomputers, and today they provide most of the computing power to the largest supercomputer in the world. So if you want to do high performance computing today, you also need to deal with GPUs and accelerator. So as a part of my research, I deal a lot with the accelerator, how to program accelerator, and how design and develop scientific application using GPUs. So I'm pretty much available all the time, but so you can email. However, the best communication mean for myself is to use a Canvas for if you have any question, discussion, please post it on Canvas. So I'm happy to reply to email. However, since I tend to be quite busy during the teaching season, I might lose your email or reply with a very long delay. The best way to get my attention is to post on Canvas. Also keep in mind that you might have a question that might be the same question of one of our colleagues had. So please use this tool. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. It's a good tool. There are no stupid questions. So anything that you want to know about the course organizations or course topics, please don't hesitate to post it on Canvas and have a discussion. So I prefer the discussion in Canvas than through personal email. That is also okay, but I might be late or maybe I might lose your email, and that's what I don't want to do. So let's talk a little bit about the prerequisite for this course. So this course is about programming GPUs and accelerator, in particular GPUs and NVIDIA GPUs. We will see during this course that the main approach to program GPU is to use an extension of the C programming language. So one of the basic prerequisites that we have in order to really enjoy this course is to have some basic knowledge of C and C++ or C++. So basic knowledge, know how to allocate an array in C, how to copy an array, how to make some control structure. So nothing very fancy, but some basic knowledge is going to help you a lot during this course. If there is time, I also want to cover like more modern approaches for GPUs, like using Python, but most of like 90%, 95% all material will be in C and C++. So if you haven't practiced C, or if you are not very strong, you use very little, try to get back to see the basic commands, how to allocate an array, how to process arrays. That will be extremely useful. In the introductory module of the course, we have a quiz that is non-graded. So that means that it doesn't really account for the for the final grade of this course, but it will allow you to self-assess your knowledge of C programming language. It's just going to tell you, which level are you in the scale, right? So that's the quiz. It tends to be on difficult level, right? So you might find difficult or tricky. If you have a strong difficulty with this quiz, you're not sure if you want to take the course because you don't have enough C knowledge, my suggestion is to talk to me, right? So we can, by email, we can understand, if your knowledge of C is enough to go forward with the course. My suggestion, though, is really this quiz tends to be a little bit difficult, so just try and have an assessment. So the first important thing is really to have a basic understanding of C, primarily C or C++. So we can still use C++ with the CUDA. The second other important knowledge that you need to know, especially for the first module that we're going to start this week, is some basic knowledge of computer architecture. So you need to know what is the cache, what are different parts of the memory subsystem. Again, it is not very detailed knowledge of computer architecture, something very basic, but to know a little bit more about computer architecture will help you through this course. It also will make the course more enjoyable. So what is the goal of this course? Well, this course will provide you a broad introduction to GPU programming with emphasis on practical aspects of programming itself. Just to give an example, you want to develop an application, for instance, for solving a differential equation, and you want to use the GPU, and that's what we're going to do it. So at the end of the course, you will be able to program your application, such as a solver for a differential equation, using the GPU. So exploiting the GPU and make a very, very fast execution of your solver. The course is divided in 4 modules, so 4 technical modules. This week, we start with this module, that is GPU architecture and accelerators. In the next 3-4 weeks, then we are going to focus on programming NVIDIA GPUs using one programming approach that is the most common one, that is called CUDA. This module is divided in 2 parts. In the first part, we are going to look at basic concepts, how to make work your application on the GPU, how to port your application to GPU. The second part of the CUDA module is really about optimization and how to optimize your code on NVIDIA GPUs. Finally, we are going to have an overview of different programming approaches, different from CUDA, still for CPUs such as OpenCL, OpenCC, I would say also Python, PyCUDA, some other higher level approaches for programming. And finally, there's going to be a project work if you want to get the A grade for this final course. You will need to do a project work. But the project work is really depending if you want to get grade A at the end of the course. How is the course format? Well, we are going to use the virtual flipped classroom. So we are all the lectures will be posted. All the lectures of the modules will be posted online. So these are pre-recorded lectures that you can listen, study at your own pace. So together with the lectures, we also post some articles and additional materials. So some of these articles might be a little bit difficult for you, right? So these are research articles. So if you need any help or any question about the articles, you can always ask on Canvas. So all the study part, the lecturing part will be online, right? And then we're going to have a lab section that are going to be in person to work on assignment, right? So we are not going to have separate labs on a different task, but the labs are going to be places to work together on the assignment, right? So we start the assignment this week is the following, and we work together doing the assignment. So I made some reservation for the lab session for this course that was I was given from. Hello, sorry, there is some. There's one. There is some. Maybe. Okay, I think I can go forward. There was some noise, background noise. Okay, so these there are in lab section that I will post it. The next one this week is on Thursday. So these lab section are not compulsory. So if you don't feel like coming to KTH to have a physical meeting, is not an issue. It's not an issue. I will try to post some videos on some difficult part that I found on the lab, but so these lab section are not compulsory. So don't feel like to come. I strongly recommend it to come because if you feel comfortable, is a way to work together with your colleagues, with our colleagues, and work on the assignment. So to make the works towards assignment much easier for you. And also, what I want to have this year is to have some group meetings. You can do either in person during the lab section or during Zoom, right? So if you don't want to come to KTH for the labs, I want you to have a meeting in groups of 2 or 3 people and discuss on Zoom about the assignment. So just to summarize about the formats of the course, the lectures will be released on Canvas, right? There are 4 modules. So this week I just released the first module about GPU and accelerators, and with the associated assignment. Right? So the lecture will be online. The way to interact with other people and myself is through the lab section. So there are some scheduled lab section. The lab session, they are specifically done to work together on the assignment. So the way that is going to work is that we're going to meet in the labs, and then we're going to start looking at the assignment, right? And if you have any questions, there are colleagues around to ask questions and to work together. If you don't feel comfortable to come to KTH, don't need to. However, what is important to do is as an assignment is actually to meet in group of 2 or 3 people to discuss the assignment, and this can be in Zoom if you don't want to come to the labs. So how we're going to have interactions and feedback? Well, as I told you, we're going to have as assignment to have 4 group meetings before each submission, right? So we're going to have 4 modules with 4 assignments. So I want to meet you with one or two more students before the submission to talk about the assignment itself. So the group that we are having for these meetings are not necessarily the one for the assignment, right? So the assignment, again, our group assignment can be 2 or 3, but you can have a group of 1 for the assignment if you feel more comfortable to submit individually, but the group meetings need to be a group of 2 or 3. Again, I want to mention that I prefer to interact using a Canvas discussion page for posting questions, any doubts and problems. Keep in mind that there is no really stupid question. If you're in doubt if to ask a questions or no, even though you think, oh, I think this question might be stupid, there is no stupid question. Please go ahead. It might be the same question that many other people have, right? So is very, very good. So we will try to reply as soon as possible. Also encourage any other student to reply on Canvas. So this is open to everybody. As a part of the discussion, is definitely okay to post a part of the code or snippet the codes, but let's try to avoid to post the complete solution in the discussion webpage. So let's make this kind of pedagogical. Show some important pieces that might drive people to the correct solution, but let's not give the old things right away. The assignments are done in groups, going from 1 or 3. So groups of 1 are okay. But what I want to put it out is that I would like really to have also interaction with the other students, right? In a group of 2 or 3. So we will need, before each assignment, to meet with other people. You might do individual. You might do individual submission, or group of one person, but still want you to make to have this meeting before the assignment. If you do a submission, individual submission, right? If you prefer to be just one for the assignment, please remember to create your own group, right? And so you will need to create your own group of 1 person and then submit it. An important point I want to make is that if you decide to go in a group of 2 or 3, you're not going to be penalized, during the grading, right? So we expect you to show that you understood all the steps that requires to complete the assignment, right? And you understood all the important concepts and all the intended goals that we have before the lecture. So that's the things that you want to be sure. So you're not going to be penalized if you submit the assignment in group of 2 or 3. So together with the assignment itself, and also we ask you to have these group meetings, right? So once you have these group meetings, you can have these group meetings, for instance, during the lab session. You can just go to Canvas. There is an assignment, and then you just put some text, with the name of the people who were in the meeting, and the topics that you have been discussing during the meeting, right? So this is just a check that you, before each assignment, you spend some time to meet with other people and discuss about the assignment. Let's talk a little bit about the course activities. So the main part of the lecture is through videos, right? So these are short videos in the range of 8 to 10 minutes, and there are a bunch of them, right? So you're required to go through them, right? And is very good if you can try to to finish before going to the labs, or definitely you need to do before the the assignment. So to go through the assignment will really help you out to fill the assignment. We have also some quizzes, right, that we will post, especially when it comes to the molded programming part. So these are pass or fail, and you will need to have 80%, and you can repeat as many times as you wish. But by the end of the course, you need to to take these quizzes and have it 80%. We also posted some of the readings, some of the papers. So this is highly recommended. However, I recognize that some of these papers are quite difficult. These are research papers, right? And so it's more to give you an overview of the research side of this course, right? So this course is very much related to research part, right? So my research group is working on many of the aspects we are discussing here. We are discussing here today. So these are difficult. So do not worry if you try to read one and it's not very clear to you 100%. If you are more interested on that, or the part of the paper that you don't understand, please, you can submit on Canvas. I'll be very happy to take those questions. Here, the most important part, right? So in order to pass the course, there will be 4 assignments, and these are compulsory, and they will be pass or fail, right? So they are not really, the grading is just pass or fail. So you need to prove by completing this assignment that you complete all the intended learning outcomes. So the assignment themselves are designed so that you can show that you reach the intended learning outcomes. So these are pass or fail. Also, some of the assignments have this bonus exercise. Some of these bonus exercises are allowed you to get a +1 towards the final grade of this course. So the bonus exercise will allow you only to arrive to B grade, right? So in order to get then A, you will need to do the final project. So if you want to get grade A for this course, you will need to complete all the bonus exercise in the assignments and then complete the final project. I will, as an activity also, we will ask you to peer review. So we will have a 2 peer review. So we have a 4 assignment. We'll ask you to peer review two assignments that are assignment 2 and 3, where there is a little bit of programming, testing. So we will ask you to do 2 peer review of those assignments that are the one a little bit more difficult than the other ones. So I think it will be very good to have some initial feedback from the assignment. After you do the peer review and you get your peer review, you will be allowed to update again to the final submission, and then finally grade it. So again, so these are just pass or fail because you need just to do it. We have the 4 group meetings, right? Of 30 minutes, 1 hour. These are compulsory. You need to either to do Zoom, or you can use the lab section to record your lab meetings. So you can meet during the lab section and then record your meeting. So you will need make sure that you have before this meeting. And finally, there is the project work that is compulsory if you want to get A. However, if you are satisfied with the grades, you can get up to B. If you do all the bonus exercise, then the project work is not compulsory. So let's look at the system and the hardware part of this course. So as a part of this course, we will get to work on GPUs and learn how to program GPUs. So where are the GPUs for this course? Well, we have two kinds of accessibility to GPUs in this course. So the first one is the CIS computer labs. So for instance, you might know these green, red, I think there is also orange and blue. So all these labs, they have NVIDIA GPUs. These are the GPUs that we will use for programming. So you can use these labs for assessing the GPUs. If you have GPUs for some reason on your laptop workstation, you're more than welcome to use your GPU. So one tricky part in many cases is really the CUDA installation. That is the programming language that we need to use to program the GPU. So then this part might be tricky. So it's perfectly fine if for the course you want to use your NVIDIA GPU. However, here you will need to take care of the CUDA installation on your particular machine. There are also other providers on the cloud. So, for instance, Google Cloud, or I think also NVIDIA provides some cloud services. We don't provide these services as the course, but if you have access through other courses to GPUs on the cloud, also those are definitely okay for the course. Probably the most important GPU resource that we have in this course is the GPU on the supercomputer I call Tegner. That is a supercomputer that is having 2 GPUs per computing node. So one thing we can do is to log in from our computer, so from our laptop to these computers, and then from the command line to program the GPU on these supercomputers. So for this one, we need to learn how to run, to run a job on supercomputers. That's something that I can post a video about it. I post already instructions on Canvas, and also we can do this together during the lab section. If you have difficulties, you have problems, or that's something that we could do together. However, you can start already. Once you have the allocation, because the instructions are on Canvas. So one important thing is really to get access to Tegner. So we need basically to create an account for you at the PDC, right? So PDC is PDC is the HPC Center, KTH, the provider of the GPU cluster. So what you need to do in order to access the GPUs on the supercomputer, it is to have an access to the supercomputer itself. So you will need to apply for an account on the PDC supercomputer. So on Canvas, I posted instructions on how to get access to the PDC. It's basically a form you need to fill and submit it. Then the PDC will send you information with your account name and the password. So you will be able to log into the system. There are some of you who already have an account to PDC because already took a course with me where we had access to the PDC supercomputer. So if you have an account because you took a previous course using PDC supercomputer, you don't need to ask for another account, right? So no need anymore to apply for an account. However, you need to ask, you still need to send an email, right? So you send an email to support@pdc@kth, asking to be added. So give your username and say, I would like to be added to the allocation called EDU21 DD2360 because I'm taking the course now in P2. So what they will do, they will associate your account to an allocation. Allocation is basically an amount of computing hours that the PDC offered us to have. So if you don't have a PDC account, strongly recommended to get an account to TechNet, even if you have some local GPU, because it might be useful from time to time to have one more GPU system in case something goes bad. So strongly recommended to ask for a PDC account so you can access the supercomputer. I send instructions on the announcement on the canvas. If you also if you go on the canvas on the first page, there will be the link to that you need to fill in order to ask for an account. And again, if you have already an account because you took another course with me where I use the PDC supercomputer, you just need to send an email to support@pdc.kth.sc asking to be added to this particular allocation. Computer labs, right? So how the labs are working. As I told you, there is no extra assignment or task for the labs. The goal of the labs is actually to work together on the assignment itself. So we open the assignment page together and we start looking together what is the assignment and try to work together. So hopefully you can submit the assignment in time, and also you enjoy understanding how to do the assignment together with students and myself. As I told you, it's not compulsory, so you don't need to be feel that you have to come. I will try to post some of the things that people find difficulty, so to help you out, even if you don't come to the labs. However, it's not compulsory. You can use the lab section actually to fulfill the assignments of the group meetings. So you can come to the labs, talk with the other 2-3 people, the assignment, and then you can fulfill the assignment. Otherwise, if you don't come to the labs, you can use Zoom. So so these are some reservation I have this year for the labs. So are basically rooms that are reserved for reserved for us that we can use for the lab section. So I will be present during this section, so you can also ask me questions. So this is the red lab room that is Lindeswagen 3. It is E-USET and is the 4th floor. And this is KTH main campus.
A question?
Please, go ahead.
Does this meeting today count towards the group meetings?
Nope.
Or is it from today?
No, today is just introduction. And so it's just for asking questions. So if you come to this one, for instance, this lab here, this will count for a group meeting.
Okay, but the seminars in the schedule, are they counted towards the group meeting?
Nope.
Is it just those physical points, or what situations can we count towards the group meetings?
So the group meetings, so either you come to the lab section, or you can have an agreement with another student to have a discussion on Zoom, for instance. Right, so that is up to you. You form, you look for somebody else for having like a group meeting. So you need at least one more person, and then you can have a Zoom meeting that is organized by yourself, basically. If you have
so it's enough to just have one other person, and then we just report it on Canvas, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
nice.
definitely fine. If you have difficulties, in finding, other people to meet up, please let me know. Post it on Canvas. I'm sure is a problem. We can fix it.
But it's mostly for discussing the assignments, right?
It's just a discussion of the assignment, right? It can be something very general. How did you fix this? How do you fix that? What do you think is the challenge? I have a problem on this, or I have a problem on that. It's more really like to see a different perspective the assignment.
I have another question, if I may.
Yeah, please go ahead.
If I understood it correctly, we have 4 assignments and 4 group meetings. So for every assignment is just one group meeting, or there are 4 meetings per assignment?
Oh, no, that would be too much. So it's just one group meeting per assignment. So in total, you will have 4 group meetings.
Okay, and as I see, there are 6 lab sessions for 4 assignments, and these are, so basically you can decide what assignment you want to do on which lab sessions.
Exactly. So there might be 2, for instance, 2 lab sessions on the same assignment, right? So there is no mapping between labs and assignment. So there might be more than 1 labs per assignment, right? Also, so there are more labs than assignment and group meetings. I just wanted to give you more option. To, in case you have some problem, you might have 1 more assignment to come, get the feedback, and meet. But for the formal point of view, it's just 4 assignment and 4 group meetings. You might decide, for instance, with your group, if you decide, I skip these meetings, these labs, right? Because I'm done with the labs, I love with the group meetings, I don't need to come. However, I'm going to be there, if any groups has any difficulty or want to discuss about something. It's more a way for me, to provide you feedback, or if you have any questions, I try to have interaction through the labs. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the course material. So there will be a bunch of course materials. So there's slides presenting some readings, might be difficult, video lectures, some course material, some tutorial-like material posted to Canvas. And will be, as soon as we start with different module, I will release a new module with a new material. So now, today we start with the first module on GPU architecture and accelerator. As soon as we submit the first assignment, then what we're going to do, I'm going to release the second module with the other assignment and all the material. So don't expect that I submit to, next few days I submit everything to Canvas, but we will do gradually, right, step by step. So can you also do step by step the course. For the textbook, if you're looking for some textbook that can help you out, there are 2 major textbooks. The first one is CUDA for engineers, by Duane Storti and Mete Yortoglu. And then this is quite a nice book. It's very much application oriented. So if you like have a problem to solve, for instance, an equation that you want to solve, this book has a very much applied approach to solve problems using GPUs. So it's it solve you the problem and then show you what you need from CUDA to solve the problem. So this book is available free online on KTH. So you log in your KTH account, you go to the KTH bibliothèque or library website, and then you can find it online version. I also provide here the link. So this is very much applied. So if you're coming from scientific computing, from physics, chemistry, that's probably the book for you. Do it. If you're coming more from computer science part, that's probably this book, Programming Massively Parallel Processor, where massively parallel processor is basically GPU. So this is the book if you have, if you're very much interested in the computer science aspects of GPU programming. So you go more deeper on the architecture, on the programming part, and optimization part of the CUDA. So highly recommended also this book. Let me see if I have it here. So these are the two books you see I have with me. This particularly is quite good from computer science perspective. So these are very famous people in the GPU research. So this is David Kirk, is NVIDIA senior engineer, and then who is Professor Balan-Champagne, so one of the most important researchers in the field. So strongly recommended these two books. If you want to know more about GPU or you want to complement what you learn with the books. Nevertheless, all this first part material will be pretty much self-contained and will be enough for you to do the assignment. However, there are two reference books. Don't hesitate to check these two books since they are freely available online. So there is going to be a course, a final project. So it's going to be necessary for obtaining A, right? So as I told you, you will have a possibility of going from up to B grade by submitting the bonus exercise. So some of the assignment, the second, third, and fourth assignment will have a bonus assignment. So you can go from from D, B, C to B, right? So that's how we're going to grade. These are pass or fail. If you completed the bonus exercise, you will get +1 towards the final grade. However, if you do all the bonus exercise, you will be able only to reach the grade B, right? So if you want to get A grade, you will need to do the final project. The final project is going to be individual, right? So not groups anymore, but will be individual project that you will need to submit. The topic is fixed, right? So what we're going to do is a project on using GPU for ray tracing. So don't worry if you don't know what is ray tracing. We'll spend some time in the description of the final project. I have a question from Yuan online. So maybe I missed when you mentioned it, but are we supposed to create groups ourselves, or are we both submitting the assignment separately? So that's an important point. So you're supposed to create the groups yourself, right? So so you will need to create the groups. There will be two kinds of groups on Canvas. So there is the meeting groups that are the one that you created to meet and discuss about the assignment. And you will have 4 of these groups. And then there are the groups that are for the assignment submission, right? So the 2 groups might be different, right, depending on how you think is best. Of course, it helps if you have the same groups for the meetings and for the assignment, right? It will make a little bit. It really help you, simplify it. However, I want to let you, chance to have a different meeting groups and assignment groups. So for both, you will need to create those, right? And it will up to you to find your colleague for the groups. The difference between the groups is that for the assignment groups, if you want to, you can be just individual. If you don't feel like you want to do assignment with other people, then you can do it yourself. But the group for the meetings for the meeting groups must be at least of 2 people. So it's a little bit complicated, but because I want to make flexible, right? So then the meeting groups and assignment groups might be different, and you need to create those two groups. I strongly recommend it, if you have a group that you meet, I think is also nice to submit together. So then you can work together. Not required, right? So the other things, if you submit in groups of 2 or 3 people, is not you're not penalized, right? It's not that the person if you do an assignment just individual, you get higher grade on than a group of 2 or 3. So that's the thing. Hopefully, Yuan, it's a little bit clear. So you need to remember that you need to create these 2 groups. Then we have also a question for Bjorn. If you fail a bonus assignment, is it possible to redo, improve the assignment and submit? Yes, of course. So one thing, that's one thing we do typically. So we will do the 4 assignment, right? And if you didn't do a bonus and assignment, for instance, second assignment you didn't do, what we're going to do is allow you to submit the bonus assignments during the project coursework. So you can submit, for instance, because you can submit an assignment without bonus exercise by a certain date, right? And without the bonus exercise, because that particular week you have a lot of workload. You couldn't finish the bonus exercise, but still, you work a little bit on that, but you couldn't finish. So what we're going to do in the final 2 weeks, when the weeks are dedicated for the final project, will be reopen the assignment page, so you can submit the bonus exercise that you didn't submit early on. And that will allow you basically to work instead of the project. If you want to increase the grade, it will allow you to increase a little bit the grade by adding bonus exercise. We have a question from David. So we have to create 2 groups, meetings and submission for each assignment, or 2 groups through the course. So so I think my understanding from Canvas, it might not the correct one. You need to create 2 groups right? So one group is called meeting groups, and the other I think is called assignment groups. Right? Once you have created those, then you can do the submission for the assignment. So create at the beginning these groups, and then you will use these groups that you have at the beginning for one for the reporting the meeting and one for reporting the assignment. Hopefully, David is a little bit clear. Let's see. As pretty much sure, also find the canvas confusing from your side. I can tell you also from my side is extremely confusing sometimes. Sometimes I click on one flag, some stuff from a different years come in, and I don't know where it's coming from. So I think we will help each other, in handling this canvas. It's an amazing tools, but sometimes it's also a little bit wild. So we will need to help each other. From my way, I'm quite flexible, right? But you never know. My experience, there's always some trick with canvas. But the important things you need to know that I'm here to fix all this problem, right? So there might be problems with the canvas reporting and stuff like that. There will be for sure. Just report to me, and then we will try to find a solution. Okay, so let's go ahead a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about the most important things of the lecture today, that is grading. So what you need to pass this course, so you need to submit the 4 assignment with pass or fail, and you need to peer review 2 assignment 2 and 3. So not this module and not the last module, the one in the middle, and then you will need to pass the 4 group meetings. You have a bonus exercise to ramp it up your grade towards the final. And if you did all the bonus assignment and then you want to get A because you really like the course, or you want to do very well, and so you want to have recognition on this course, you will need to do some project work that is basically developing some code that you will need to post online, and then write a final report, maximum 8 pages. But in order to pass just to pass the course, is submit 4 assignment with or without the bonus exercise, and participate in discussion of the assignment in group meetings. Okay, so we also have our colleagues from the 3rd cycle level today, that of course has a little bit different requirements because it's a 3rd cycle. So what you need to do is if you're taking the 3rd cycle level of this course, that is DD2360, you need to pass all the 2nd cycle assignment, including the bonus exercise. So unfortunately for you, this is not is a requirement, right? So it's not just a plus to make it more a 3rd cycle. Also, you will need a final project report that is a little bit larger of the pages on a topic that is relevant to your research, right? So if for your PhD research, you're doing research about computational fluid dynamics or image processing, and the topic should be relevant to what you're doing for your research, and then it should include a GPU part, right? So how you use GPU on your research. An important point that I want you to include in the final report is the report must include a section with the previous work on the topic. So kind of a related work that has been previously done on the GPU. And also you will be, since the project is much broader scope, you will given more time for the final project. Also, the project is actually a requirement. And the third cycle level is only pass or fail, right? So you need to pass all the second cycle assignment, bonuses aside, submit final project report, and then will be only pass or fail. So questions. So we have already quite a few questions, but I'm happy to take more right now. I just need to, let me check the chat.
I have a question
Please go
about
ahead.
the application of the PDC, yes. On the address part, we have a department text that, but what should we write in that text? Because there is a department like under the address and postal code and cities and etc. That
yeah. Sorry. So I think I wrote something about that. Any address in Sweden is okay, because so you can put your home address in Sweden, or if you want, you can put computer science department, or so the important point really that they're not going to send anywhere there. So it's a form they have historically from the past, but it's not used at all. So you can use an address. It can be your home address in Sweden. If you're here, it can be the address of computer science department. That address is not used. The important things are the email address and maybe the phone. In some cases, also send information about the account through message. So those are the important things. But the home address, you can put an address that can be home address, or it can be the department address. Doesn't really matter.
Thank you.
Sure. Then we have a question from Daniel about the third level. Do we also need to go through quizzes and group meetings as well? Yes, so that would be very, very useful. However, for the third cycle, the pace is a little bit different, right? So you will be given more time for this. So definitely will be very good if you team up and also do this together in group. Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
can you hear
sure.
me?
Yeah.
You just mentioned that the applied project is about ray tracing. So does that mean that we need to do just like a game engine, or could you give me some example about that?
No, so it's just the basic implementation of, for instance, we'll give you a Python code doing ray tracing. That is very, very simple, just like a sphere. And then you will develop, the different computation for doing ray tracing. So it's very, very simple, because many people, they are not coming either from gaming or from frameworks for game. It's very, very simple. It's very basic. It's just to do a simple project that match very well the GPUs, right?
Okay. Oh yeah, I see. Yes, thank you.
And it might be also very useful for many people if you don't want to do, for instance, game engine, to understand how this could be implemented in with the GPU. It turns out that, of course, ray tracing in game engine is basically using using GPUs, right? So that's a basic technology. But the basic project will be a project that is simple enough for everybody who have no experience with ray tracing at all, to implement a very basic ray tracing, very, very simple scene. And will be mostly focused on understanding how the GPU can be used, and some performance measuring, CPU, GPU, So something that can be quite useful for you, hopefully.
Yeah,
But,
good.
yep, sure.
Yes, yes, that's again, yeah.
Okay, so here we have a question from David. Do the lab sessions enough to start and finish an assignment, or they are just a good place to talk about the task? It depends on the, so they are, so 2 hours are typically are not enough, right? So probably the first lab might be enough. So you see that the first assignment is basically to go through all the lectures, answer certain questions. So you show that you understand, what is the GPU for, why GPU is important. But then there is a question in measuring how fast is to move data from the CPU memory to the GPU memory, right? So for that, you will need like a GPU, right? So then you can measure, you can go to the labs and measure this so-called bandwidth, how much data we can move per unit of time, right? So then on that one, you can make it, in an hour of labs. So that will be enough. For the assignment of 2 and 3, that might not be enough. And that's why we probably have more than 1 labs for those. So I would say for the assignment 1, I'm pretty much sure that you will be able to finish the assignment. For the assignment 2 and 3, very likely that it will take you at very least 2 labs, and you will need to put a little bit more from home or other meetings. But of course, this depends on on the experience of the group, of the people, how much passion you have for the topic. There are some people who are very active. They really like the topic, so they're willing to put a lot of time. Also depend on how much background. So the good things that the assignments are challenging, but not extremely difficult to do. Always I will be there, to help. So I'm definitely sure that you will be able to submit something reasonable during the lab section. Okay, so then we have another question. For the group assignments, the task will be listed up and the group should self-divide responsibility, or basically what is the goal of having groups? So the goal of the groups is to have some comparison, right? So I think the major goal is really to understand and discuss different possible solutions and the challenges of the problem. So it's an exchange of experience point of view when it comes to the group meeting. For the assignment is really everybody needs to participate in in the work. You might want to divide the works in the group, right? But what you need to make sure is that once you divide the work in the groups, everybody in the groups understand what has been done. What is the solution is very clear to everybody, right? So we should not have somebody who just do the small part of an exercise without having an understanding of the other exercises. So work sharing is definitely fine. However, everybody in the group must be conscious about the other part, challenges, difficulties. If there is any issue, needs to be addressed within the group. So this is quite important. So we are basically training you to become professional, and nowadays you basically always work with other people, right? So I see to work in group as preparing you for the next milestone for your career. Right? So you will graduate. You will work more and more on groups, right? And to work in groups is coming with several challenges, right? You might not have, the same background, but to work with the people is extremely enriching experience, right? You understand different perspectives, different points of view, and make you a better person, better professional to work with. So that's why I'm adding this compulsory meeting. If you're not comfortable in also for the assignment to say, well, I want to do assignment myself, you can do still individually. If you do assignment in groups, you can do work sharing, so dividing, who is doing what. However, I want everybody to discuss the assignment together. Also need to be sure that the responsibility for the whole assignment is everybody in the group. So if there is a weak point, then need to be addressed by all groups, right? Because that might be an issue for passing that assignment. Then we have another question from Bjorn. Am I understanding correctly that for the group meetings over Zoom, it's enough that we submit a meeting log, no recording on Canvas? That's correct. I trust you guys. I just put these Canvas things that you can just on Canvas and put it that you met. No need for anything more than that. Is again, I want you to meet in informal setting, right? And really make something useful for you. Don't see it as an assignment. See something that it might help. You've been through the assignment very quickly. You know that you might have a problem. You might have a problem in this assignment, and you want to check the opinion of other people, right? How do you solve this, or any idea? So I want you to go in this kind of informal setting where it's okay, to talk about assignment, difficulties, how you're going to do it, what's your idea. For the group assignment also, is also okay. For instance, for some exercise, if you have a different implementation, to submit a different implementation. And so I'm very much open to any solution. Important things I really want you to first to reach, all the learning outcomes that we have, and the assignment are basically built in this direction, right? To prove step by step that you reach the goals. But also, I would like to have this interaction with other students and work together, see the problem, see different perspective. It will make you better professional. It also will prepare you for the next milestone in your career. Then we have a question from Albin. Are we allowed to use our own GPUs for the bandwidth measurement? Yes, you're allowed to use your own GPUs on your laptop, your workstation. If you have access to cloud, you're allowed to use the GPUs. So that's it's up to you. You could use basically for all the assignment. There might be one assignment that might require TechNer, the very last one. Also, be sure that the GPU you have is NVIDIA GPU, because we're going to two modules will be on CUDA that will require NVIDIA GPUs. The last module we also see more OpenCL, that is for multiple kind of accelerator. But yes, so if you have NVIDIA GPU, you're more than welcome to do at the very least the first three assignments you can do. The last one you might need TechNer, where we have also OpenCL. But you can use it, and then we can see ongoing. Strongly recommended to to get access also to TechNair. There's one more machine. If you want to do it, I can explain how to access TechNair and so on and so forth. Any more question? So if for you is okay, I just do 5 minutes of just introductory of the course, really literally why is it important to GPUs, and then I let you go and start with the first module. Otherwise, if you're feeling very strong about the break, because we have been talking for quite a while, I also can do the break. Any strong opinion? If I do the slides, it's going to be very quick. Okay, let's do this very quickly, right? And then I promise we finish very shortly early. Okay, so I need to share again. Okay, so share screen. So I just want to give you very briefly the motivation for creating the motivation for this course, right? And why we are doing this. Well, thanks for deep learning, we have this this course, right? So GPUs were not so popular until 10 years ago. I mean, there was, of course, hackers, like probably many people here today that were using GPUs for many different things. However, really became mainstream with the rise of basically convolutional networks, ImageNet kind of task. So the deep learning community, machine learning, neural network community brought up, the need of the GPUs for high performance computing, and that was kind of strange because so suddenly everybody want to have GPU, including HPC system. But also the price of the GPU skyrocket, right? So the price of some of the GPUs is very high. Some of the new Volta Ampere, is 200,000 crowns. So it's not really, it's quite an expensive piece of hardware. But I would say definitely the GPUs are nowadays like a mainstream tool for computing, and this likely to for the deep learning community that really saw as GPU as the main tool for enabling machine learning computing. So the reason why we have this GPU programming is really that there are not actually many people in the application domain who knows how to program effectively GPU programming. So you might be an expert of TensorFlow, PyTorch, but you're probably not really sure how this is actually implemented in the backend. Right? It turns out that all these higher level programming interface, they have backends that are written in CUDA or OpenCL. So one goal of this course is really to give you an idea about what is how the GPU is working, how to program GPU, and how to optimize, right? So this will give you a lot of it will make a much stronger programmer, professional, understand GPUs, the advantages, but also limitations. So you will know when to use the GPU and when not. And most importantly, will be basically you will know how to write the code for GPU programming from scratch. So the goal of the course is really to enable you to write efficient code for programming GPUs, where efficient code means that GPU architecture, advanced features of programming, and you know how to exploit all these features. So we are basically dealing with the computer architecture for the GPUs, also some accelerator basics and advanced CUDA that we start module 2 and 3rd. And then we're going to look at other programming environment for GPU like OpenCL, OpenCC, PyTorch, PyCUDA. And then at the end of this course, we'll be able to apply all this technique to your things. So these are just my motivational slides for the course. so what is due next week? So we have the first assignment due next week, I think November 9th. So it should be so Tuesday at the 5 p.m. Right. So there will be the first assignment. So what you need to do today is to complete the video lectures, what are GPUs and accelerators, and this is going to be a module. What you need to look at is video lectures. If you check the slides, and as a part of the assignment, the first assignment, you have like a practical. First, the practical challenge for you is get access to the GPU, right? And then what you will see from the lectures. So one of the weak points is to move data from the CPU memory, right, to the GPU memory. So CPU memory, there is DRAM, and then there is a GPU that is served as a memory. And then what we're going to do is to measure how fast is this so-called bandwidth. So it will tell us how much data per second we can move it from the CPU memory to the CPU memory. And also we will see how much fast we are moving data internally in the GPU memory. So the first assignment has basically a review of GPU architecture and accelerators in general in HPC, and also has a practical aspect that is to measure the bandwidth. You can do Tegner, lab workstation, or your own NVIDIA GPU, or if you have access to a cloud, you want to do on the cloud. And then complete and submit to Canvas the group assignment. So this can be group of 1 or 3. And also here, what I'm missing is to have the group meeting. So having said that, then if there is there's the last question from Luis. Hello, Luis. So I missed the first hour of the meeting. Is the course fully digital? Yes. So the course, all the lectures are pre-recorded lectures online. There are labs. There are labs in this. Let me see. I guess keep. Let's see if I can share again. So there are labs that are also so here. So there I schedule some meetings for the labs, and then so these are in person in this room here in the red lab room. Lidenspeichen 3 at the 4th floor, and then so these are not compulsory. So if you prefer not to come, or you prefer to do everything online, you don't need to come. However, if you want to have some interaction with me or with other people in this course in person, I schedule these lab meetings during different weeks. So the labs are completely dedicated to work together on the assignment. So there are no specific assignment for the labs. However, there is the assignment for the course. So we will work together. So just to summarize, lectures are going to be online as a pre-recorded lectures, and there are also some reading, some tutorials, some quiz online, and there is the physical part that is not compulsory. If you want to meet in person,